Good morning. My name is Felicia Orth, she, her, today's worship associate. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Los Alamos. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your image of the holy, and wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. If this is your first time with us, we'd love to get to know you. Please sign the guest book in the foyer. You can also speak with our greeter, Mike McNaughton, or Rebecca Howard, co-chairs of the membership committee, for more information about the church. For kids here in the service, we have the activity table up front. We ask that the kids use their whisper voices at the table. Kids can also be seated with their parents if they'd like. Grown-ups and kids can sit in the library there at the back of the room to hear the service. And there's a nursery for the youngest kiddos, 0 to 3. Sarah Hamoud is our nursery coordinator and can check in your youngest kids. After the time for all ages this morning, kids will leave to go to their World Blessings class. Grown-ups will need to sign out their kiddos from that service, from the class after the service. Candles of community are up here at the front and also at the back. Please come up anytime before the prayer to light a candle, and if you'd like to, write your joy or sorrow in the book to be read aloud. If you're in need of pastoral care, please contact Reverend Tina DeYoe to set up an appointment. She, Tara Height, and Elizabeth Portillos are away together at a Unitarian Universalist work conference, but they'll be back this week. Please reach for your devices, your cell phones, and turn off the ringer, please. So, greet your neighbor. This is now a good time to greet your neighbor, especially if you see someone you don't know or recognize. If you'd rather just wave, that's fine too. And I'll call us back in with a chime. That's a special part of the service, but we need to talk about announcements, and there are a lot of them. You can find announcements weekly through the email. It can also be found on our website, monthly printed flyers, and social media pages. So today we're highlighting a few announcements. Let's see, the kids' class, the World Blessings class today is on gratitude. It's the story of Sarah Josepha Hale, the mother of Thanksgiving. We also have a Creative Connections craft group meeting today from noon to 3 in the Create room at the end of the long hallway there. The forum that was going to be on affordable housing had to be postponed, but James Carroll has stepped up to lead our forum for today, titled Ethics, Love, and the Alignment Problem in Artificial Intelligence. So stick around, grab some coffee, snacks in Fellowship Hall, and just come back to the sanctuary at noon. Childcare is available during forum time. Just check in with Sarah Hamoud if you have kiddos who need childcare during forum. Next Sunday is the bread communion ritual. It's a very special ritual service. We need bread bakers, we need storytellers, folks to bake bread for the bread communion, bring it next Sunday, and tell a story about the bread, although that's not required. It's a beautiful thing to hear. And then, of course, after the service, when we're all stuffed with bread, there will be a soup and bread potluck. And so feel free to make soup to share as well. We'll be enjoying that during the potluck. All potluck contributions, by the way, are welcome, not just soup. Next Saturday, we have bystander intervention training here at the church from 12 to 5. There are just 5 spots left for this training, so register now if you'd like using that QR code or by emailing Reverend Tina. Friday, too fast. November 21st is karaoke night and a potluck. November 22nd is a guided tour of Moving Arts and a show there at Moving Arts. Talk with Tara if you'd like to join that. Sunday the 23rd, there's a family breakfast before the service. Thursday, November 27th, Thanksgiving feast in Fellowship Hall. And finally, a UU 101 class, which is ongoing, began last week and continues on December 7th and 14th. So, call to worship and chalice lighting. This chalice lighting comes from the minister of the Geneva, Illinois Unitarian Church. And, would you come up? Would you come up to help me light the chalice? Yes? No? No? Anyone at all? From that table? Great. Thank you. To face the world's shadows. To face the world's shadows, a chalice of light. To face the world's coldness, a chalice of warmth. To face the world's terrors, a chalice of courage. To face the world's turmoil, a chalice of peace. May its glow fill our spirits, our hearts, and our lives. So we come together as a community every Sunday to pause and worship together. Worship creates connections within, among, and beyond us, calling us to live with wisdom and compassion, calling us to be our better selves. Our worship theme for the month of November is gratitude. John Ambrosiano, who just read the Mary Oliver poem and is the facilitator of the church's Buddhist meditation group, is our guest speaker today. Thank you so much, John, for that. His topic will be grace and gratitude. And speaking of things to be grateful for, we have an offering plate this month. The entirety of the offering will go to Inside Out Recovery in Espanola. Inside Out Recovery offers support to people in the Espanola Valley and northern New Mexico suffering from substance abuse disorder and addiction. Their services for recovery are for all people and are free of charge. Inside Out is a nonprofit and also focuses on community recovery efforts. Inside Out Recovery is a partner of the Interfaith Coalition on Homelessness and the Espanola Pathway Shelter. You can use the QR code on the screen for the Givelify app to make a donation or directly to this basket. It will, again, go to the church's general fund, but then all of it is donated to Inside Out Recovery. So let's take the offering now, and may what you give bring you joy. So let us lift up all that we bring with us today, whether shared or held in our hearts. We'll have now a meditation on gratitude that our guest speaker will share with us.
So I can already tell. There we go. All right, I have a meditation, a guided meditation for you today. It's not from Joseph Goldstein. If you like Joseph Goldstein, you can imagine that it is from Joseph Goldstein. It's actually taken loosely from the book A Wise Heart by Jack Kornfield. So, let yourself sit quietly and at ease. You can close your eyes if you want. Let yourself sit quietly and at ease. Allow your body to be relaxed and open, your breath natural, and your heart easy. Begin by feeling gratitude for yourself for all the years that you've cared for your own life. Now let yourself acknowledge all that has supported you in this care. With gratitude, I remember the people, animals, plants, insects, creatures of the sky and sea, air and water, fire and earth, all whose joyful exertion have blessed my everyday life. With gratitude, I remember the care and labor of 1,000 generations of elders and ancestors who came before me. I offer my gratitude for the blessing of this earth that I've been given. I offer my gratitude for the measure of health I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the community I've been given. I offer my gratitude for the teachings and lessons I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the life I have been given. May all share in these blessings. Can you all hear me well enough? I'm not sure what to do with this mic in my face, but how is it now? It was better before? Okay. All right. Okay, well, I want to welcome you all. Thank you for coming to this talk, this expression of our message today. I'm grateful to you. I hope by the end of the service, you'll leave here with a good idea of what gratitude is where it comes from, how it affects your life, including your mental and physical health, your longevity, and most importantly, your sense of peace and happiness. So this talk is tied in with the other elements that I brought for you, including the poems that I read. And part of my motivation for wanting to speak on this topic, besides it being November, it comes from having recently discovered talks by Brother David Stendelrast. Brother David is a Benedictine monk, and he's a mystic. He's one of those who not only appreciates their life, but appreciates the mystery of life. And he's something that you could call the guru of gratitude. Many of the talks that you'll find online from Brother David are about gratitude and how it works. So the talk is called Grace and Gratitude. So we start with the acknowledgement that as human beings, we all want to be happy. It's something that we share as human beings. It's something the Dalai Lama points out from time to time. He says, you know, what we all have in common is that we're all here and we want to be happy and we don't want suffering. So we start with that. And no matter what our background, our particular talents, what our politics are, we all want to be happy. So what is grace? Okay. Grace is that which is freely given to us. We don't have to ask for it. It's not something we earn or deserve. And the way gratitude works is that when we're freely given something that's valuable to us, something that brings joy and happiness and delight, we are grateful. That's how gratitude works. Something freely given, something of value. That's what gratitude comes from. So, about grace, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, God is the source of both grace and mercy. And the usual interpretation is that grace is that which is given to those who are deserving. And for the undeserving, if they experience grace, it's based on God's mercy. In Buddhism, with its non-theistic roots, grace is just another aspect of life, part of the unfolding of life. So life is not completely random. For those who espouse Judeo-Christian beliefs, life unfolds according to God's divine plan. That's where it comes from. For those who follow Eastern traditions, it's karma, the law of cause and effect, that governs the unfolding of life. And as human beings, with our limited view of things, our limited horizon, the flow of life is hard to anticipate. It's hard to know what's going to come next. We can never be certain of anything except that life is uncertain. And with our modern understanding of quantum mechanics and everything connected with it, we know that uncertainty is very deep. It goes all the way down. It's all the way down, right? Particles don't know what they're going to do either. So Buddhism says that uncertainty is one of the marks of existence. Uncertainty is an inherent property of life because life is so absurdly complicated. Everything causes everything. The Buddha called this truth the law of dependent origination, and this is what he said. He said, when this exists, that comes to be. With the arising of this, that arises. When this does not exist, that does not come to be. And with the sensation of that, with the sensation of this, that ceases. So, everything causes everything. The fact that life is enormously complex, and therefore life is inherently unpredictable, is not a cause for concern. It's always been that way. It's part of the delightful mystery of life. When we find ourselves delighted by the unfolding of life, we call it grace or good fortune. When we're not, we call it misfortune. But as you can understand, what we call misfortune and good fortune depend on one's perspective, on the eye of the beholder. From a grateful perspective, every moment is an opportunity to experience grace. And every moment is therefore also a moment in which we can discover gratitude. So one way that we can connect with grace and open the door to gratitude is to fully appreciate the interconnectedness of life. The truth is that at the deepest levels of existence, everything is connected to everything else. And this is called the truth of interdependence. The great Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh referred to this truth as interbeing, and used this aspect of existence to show how gratitude can come directly from understanding interbeing. He said, if you are a poet, you will see clearly that there is a cloud floating in this sheet of paper. Without a cloud, there will be no rain. Without rain, trees cannot grow. And without trees, we cannot make paper. The cloud is essential for the paper to exist. If the cloud is not there, the sheet of paper cannot be here either. So that we say the cloud and the paper inter-are. Okay. So Thich Nhat Hanh had a way with words. Sometimes he got away with a lot of things. But it says what we need to say about it. So he said, the word interbe is not in the dictionary yet, but if we combine the prefix inter with to be, we have a new verb, interbe. We cannot have paper. Sorry, without a cloud, we cannot have paper, so we say that the cloud and the paper inter-are. So for the poet, the author, the watercolor artist, anyone else that prizes paper and takes delight in their art, this is a manifestation of grace, the existence of paper. And this naturally gives rise to gratitude. So it is possible to bring gratitude into your life once you understand how it works. It has several important and necessary ingredients. It means noticing things that are important to you and that you value. It requires the recognition that many times these things are given to you freely, either as gifts from God or grace, if you believe in divine law, or the arising of fortunate circumstances through the law of cause and effect. In the latter case, it helps to remember that the interplay of innumerable karmic effects gives rise to uncertainty. But it's also helpful to remember that a synonym for uncertainty is possibility. So therefore, life has within it infinite possibilities, including infinite possibilities for encountering grace and for realizing good fortune. Those that believe in God need only remember that God's grace and mercy are infinite. Now, there are reasons why people may find it difficult to be grateful. Here are some possible reasons. One is expectation bias. The cognitive inclination to see life in a certain way due to subconscious biases in the way they perceive their lives and how they interpret and respond to things that they encounter. So, for example, people who've been subjected to trauma or have had a lot of difficulties in their lives may expect those things to continue indefinitely in much the same way. So when people feel like they're under a cloud, they often feel like they have nothing to be grateful for. So by contrast, those that have experienced good fortune in their circumstances and upbringing, their emotional lives, their health, financial well-being, have a different set of expectations. But ironically, it's those people that are the least resistant to changes when they occur. So people who have had fortunate circumstances may feel entitled to fortunate circumstances. And so feelings of entitlement can lead to anger and resentment when things change. And that makes it difficult for them to be grateful. Another sort of bias that can make gratitude difficult is seeing the world as a heap of problems. So even when somebody hasn't experienced trauma, it's possible for them to be estranged from the experience of gratitude by seeing the world as a collection of problems to be solved. It's difficult to find joy in ordinary things when you believe there are so many problems in the world. And in today's political climate, whether your tribe is in or out, can lead to feeling that there's something wrong with the world, no matter which it is. So in all these cases, there's some conditioning that's biased the mind to a certain perspective, to perceive that life is largely problematic and negative. Sometimes for whatever reason, there are people who see the glass as half empty instead of half full, even with all things being equal. So these are habits of mind, and because habits can be changed, it can be worth trying to change them. One technique that a lot of people find helpful is keeping a journal, a daily account of the things that happen to them and the things that they may be grateful for. Journaling forces you to slow down and reflect on what's happening during the day. It's a simple practice, and it can have a profound effect on one's sense of mental and emotional well-being. Where gratitude is concerned, reflecting on the day can give you the opportunity to bring to mind moments of grace and delight, and it allows them to react there in your mind to produce moments of gratitude. So one thing that people do is just keep a gratitude journal. Another strategy is to express your thanks. Tell people. Let them know when you're grateful for what they've done. Look them in the eye and give them a sincere thanks. That's something that I've done from time to time, is you just, we say thank you as kind of a perfunctory way of getting by in the world, But if you just look somebody in the eye who's done something helpful for you, to see who they are and just say sincerely, thank you, it can change your life. It may change theirs. So think of them as agents of grace, because that's what they are. So these practices that I've been talking about are also effective habits of creating mindfulness, of being mindful. Mindfulness is the practice of seeing clearly what's happening in each moment, within you and to you. So with mindfulness, you can come to see the habits of mind, like negativity, more clearly, and better understand the fears, disappointments, and worries that contribute to a negative mindset. Mindfulness also brings clarity and lets us see things as they are rather than as we want them to be. Actually, one interpretation of the Buddha's discovery of the truth of suffering was that suffering was not caused by unfortunate circumstances, but by wanting things to be different. That's the truth. There's like 3 or 4 different ways that you can express that truth, and that's one of them. It's wanting things to be different than they are. Even when what we want most is change, we must clearly see things as they are in order to understand how to change them. So accepting life is not complacency. It's actually sanity. Because if you believe that things are different than they are, that's an insane approach to life. So when things don't go to plan, mindfulness gives us the inner strength to accept the way life has unfolded before our eyes. So I know some of us have seen some version of the Serenity Prayer. God, give me the grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, the courage to change the things which should be changed, and the difference, and the wisdom to know the difference. So gratitude also has an effect on wellness, a substantial effect on wellness. Grateful life can benefit your mental and physical health. Research articles appearing in journals like Harvard Health show that. Grateful living reduces stress and depression. Gratitude is associated with greater happiness, more positive emotions, and life satisfaction. Gratefulness makes people more resilient in the face of setbacks and negative experiences. And feelings of gratitude have been linked to higher self-esteem and improved mental health. And if that were not enough, gratitude lowers blood pressure. Gratitude improves sleep quality. Gratitude strengthens the immune system. It reduces chronic pain. Actually, one of the earliest applications of Buddhism in recent times and meditation is to reduce chronic pain. So when we see things as they are rather than as we want them to be, or imagine them to be, or find some way of seeing our pain for what it is, like observing that our pain is sometimes great and sometimes small, sometimes it's here, sometimes there. This is the basis for what's called mindfulness-based stress reduction, and it works and has worked for decades. Like a lot of things that you see in psychology journals, these things are rediscovered by psychologists who then claim them as their own. But let's keep going. So basically, gratefulness is good for you. There's a recently published online article derived from a controlled study published in JAMA Psychiatry in 2024. And it suggests that gratitude affects longevity. So here's how it went. The study began in 2016. It collected mortality data on nearly 50,000 women whose average age was 69. And as part of the study, participants were asked to complete a 6-term gratitude questionnaire where they would rank statements like, I have so much in life to be thankful for. And if I had a list of everything I felt grateful for, it would be a very long list. So the study then recorded deaths from all causes, controlling for various things that they felt they needed to control for. And the results were that in the cohort that was inclined toward gratitude, mortality was lower by 9%. So you can't say that 50,000 is a small sample. So it's not an enormous impact, but it's clearly significant. It was considered significant in the study. Harvard Health, again, it's an online publication. It comes from the Harvard Medical School. And it shared a version of the questionnaire that readers were asked in order for people to be able to share in feelings of gratitude. So here are the 6 questions. What happened today that was good? Okay. What am I taking for granted that I can be thankful for? What am I taking for granted that I can be thankful for? Which people in my life am I grateful for? What is the last book I read, or movie, show, or social media clip I saw that I really appreciated, and why? So remember, one of the ingredients of gratitude is delight. Right? So when delight happens to you, and just through the grace of life unfolding, we're grateful. What am I looking forward to this week, this month, this year, and why? And what is the kindest thing someone has said or done lately? So kindness and gratitude go hand in hand. So this is just one way that people can bring gratitude into their lives, by asking these kinds of questions. So now I'd like to return to Brother David, to Brother Steindelrast, and his happiness and his recipe for happiness. And that recipe is to live a grateful life. And to do that, he first explains how gratitude works. He says, when we're freely given something of value, something in which we delight, something that makes us happy, it's not something we earned, it's good fortune, it's grace. Then we are grateful. And to that end, Brother David points to something of enormous value, given freely, that we can treasure. It is this very moment. This very moment is something that we're given of great value and that we can treasure. Every moment of our life is freely given to us. This is Brother David talking. Every moment of our life is freely given to us. We didn't earn it. It's a gift. And with that gift, wrapped inside is something of great value. Opportunity. The opportunity to appreciate this moment, to seize it, and to do something with it. And this is me talking. The opportunity to do something with each moment in which we are alive is a gift of tremendous value. and something for which we can be grateful. Brother David points out that you may have heard the phrase, opportunity knocks only once. Okay, you may have heard that, but it's not true. If you miss this moment, there'll be another one, and another one, and another one, as long as you're alive. Each one contains a precious gift, a new opportunity for which we can be grateful. So Brother David has built a practice around this attitude, this way of looking at things. There's actually even an organization called GratefulLiving.org that was started by one of his students, seminary students. He didn't finish seminary. He started a company, but it's a wonderful place to visit. So Brother David has built a practice around that model, and the practice is called Stop, Look, Go. Stop, look, go. It's almost like something you'd say to a child when you're teaching them to cross the street. And here's how he describes it. This is Brother David again. There's something that we know about everyone we meet anywhere in the world, and that is that all of us want to be happy. By becoming aware that every moment is a given moment, as we say. It's a gift. You haven't earned it. You haven't brought it about in any way. You have no way of assuring that there will be another moment given to you. Grateful living, that's the most valuable thing that can ever be given to us. We have to stop. We have to get quiet. And when you stop, then the next thing is to look. You look, you open your eyes, you open your ears, you open your nose, and open all your senses for this wonderful richness that is given to us. Whatever life offers to you in that present moment, if you take that opportunity, go with it. So, about gratitude lists, okay? One of the things that happens around Thanksgiving is people are ask us to make lists of all the things we're grateful for. I think it's a dubious tradition, and sometimes it feels like it's only going to end when it comes time for us to make our Christmas shopping lists. And then after that, we have to compile lists of people that we need to thank for all the things they bought for us. The fact that I'm speaking to you now is because it's the season for gratitude lists. But I hope I've been able to provide you with something a little more helpful, a little deeper. And I hope it leads you to leading a more grateful life. There are indeed many things to be grateful for, but there are some things that are difficult to be thankful for. Can we really be thankful for war? Can we be thankful for the loss of a loved one? Or can we be thankful for a difficult and perhaps a terminal illness? Things that we find it difficult to be grateful for can sometimes be our best teachers. The existence of war makes us grateful for peace. The grief of a lost loved one helps us keep our memories of that person fresh and alive. In the course of researching the material for this talk, I went to GratefulLiving.org and I found a testimonial by a member of the Grateful Living community that is simply called Scott G. And he said this, he says, "Gratefulness is what keeps me grounded and from losing hope because of my diagnosis with Alzheimer's. Gratefulness brings joy into my life." So in this talk, we've seen how gratitude comes about. We've heard a few strategies for how one can use gratitude more frequently to live a grateful life. And we've heard about gratitude from this remarkable Benedictine monk, Brother David Steindl-Rast. Incidentally, if you go online to YouTube, you will find many of his talks, including a really wonderful TED Talk that I recommend. So another thing you'll find online is a video called A Grateful Day. And I want to close today with Brother David's words from that remarkable video. And they are these. You think this is just another day in your life. It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It is a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratitude. If you learn to respond as if it was the first day in your life and the very last day, you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes that you can open. The incredible array of colors that is offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with the clouds coming and going. Open your eyes. Look at the faces of people you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. All that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like life-giving water, if only you will open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives us. You flip a switch and there's electric light. You turn on a faucet and there's warm water and cold water and drinkable water, a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. And so, I wish that you open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone you meet on this day will be blessed by you, just by your presence. Let gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you, and then it will be a really good day. So that's all I have for you today, and thank you for coming.
I'm going to extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we're together again. Thank you all.